Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Okay, hopefully the sound is loud enough. I think that should be okay. All right, so I've added a quick transformation, quick coordinate transform feature, which is this. So it's going to use the CSV module and the PyProject module. It's got a little function which converts the coordinates. So it takes in an easting and northing, and then their EPSG in and the EPSG out, and it sets the projections, and then it does the transform, and then returns the transform coordinates. So just a simple kind of function using the PyProject transform functionality. Okay, then we say with open to convert out, so we're opening the out file, and it's opening it as a writable file, so it's going to overwrite the file if it already exists. Then we're just going to write the header line. So the header's got the ID, the easting in, northing in, EPSG in, EPSG out, easting out, northing out, and a new line. Then we're going to open the file to convert in using CSV Reader. I'm going to skip the header. And then for each row in the reader, we're going to pull the row apart. So the first index is the ID, second is the easting, third northing, EPSG in, EPSG out, third and fourth, and then we're going to do our convert, and then we're going to write out the result. So we're looping over the file line by line. So we write out the ID, the easting, northing, EPSG in, EPSG, and then we're going to round the converted coordinate to 2 decimal places and round the y value to 2 decimal places, and then do a new line character. So pretty straightforward stuff. If we show this in Explorer and we have a look on inside this quick convert, to convert file, you'll see that we've got basically the ID is there just as a placeholder to make sure that we don't balls up the order. The order is going to stay the same, but it's just in there as like a checks and balances. So just to make sure we can make sure it's not stuff the order up or anything weird. Okay, so we've got the eastings in and the northings in, and we've got the EPSG in and the EPSG out. EPSG in and EPSG out, the best resource for that is I've found is this spatial reference website. So if you basically just search EPSG and then you do AGD or AMG 66 zone 55, say, or whatever one you're looking for, then you'll find it, and it's 20255 or 20355. 20355 I think is 84, but 84 and 66 is the same. So you put in your EPSG in and your EPSG out. So 20255, and you've got your coordinates, and you just save it. We'll delete the output file, and then if we're in PyCharm and we just wrong one. If we're in PyCharm and we just run this, I will have to save the file and close it. There's no try and accept or anything clever in here. It's just a quick and dirty script just to do what we need it to do. So let's just save that and close it. My Excel seems to be a bit stuttery at the moment. And then we can just run that. So Control Shift F10 rather than having to click on that button. And there we go. So it's going to loop over. It's just giving this warning that the syntax is depreciated. That's okay. So it has finished and that file has appeared. So if we look in here now, it's made them. So it's given our EPSG out. What you'll notice is that it's consistent. It's going to be consistent in the area because it's basically just making a formula, isn't it? But it depends where you are inside the zone. So, I mean, if it was the same across the entire, if it was the same across the entire zone, we wouldn't need to do anything fancy. We could literally just add minus those values on or whatever, but that's okay. So that's it. That'll give you a quick convert. And then you can basically just pick up these coordinates and paste them back into the DEO and then make the DEO using the shapefile maker. Don't forget that when we use the shapefile maker, that the EPSG is set to MGA 94 zone 55, which is that EPSG 28355. So when you're making the shapefiles, if you're making them with AGD66 coordinates, then you have to change that number, right? It should be 20255. So what I've been doing is I've been doing a quick coordinate convert. If they're stated in A66, given in AMG66, and then I've been converting them into MGA 94, and then I've been creating the shapefile. So that way, everything is in MGA 94, and there's no need to fuck around with the translations in here really at all. So if we digitize a map and we use the coordinates off the map, convert the coordinates on the map that you're going to rectify into MGA, rectify according to those coordinates, the translated coordinates, with the data frame set to MGA. Then when you look at the projection system of your rectified image, it will say MGA 94. When you hover your mouse over the coordinates, there'll be the coordinates in the bottom, there'll be the coordinates of MGA 94, even though the actual grid numbers will say AMG 66 and everything's in MGA 94. We're avoiding all this potential confusion. We're just trying to be as consistent as possible to avoid any problems. So to get that extra bit of code, you can go into wherever your folder is, just pretend it's in here, and if you just go into git bash here, and you should be able to just do a git pull, and that should just pull down the latest version of latest files, all the latest versions, everything, right? So any changes that are made by doing that. If that doesn't work, just message me and let me know. All right, cool. I hope that helps.